fitting tool. Today we're gonna talk about two different types of mostly Chinese quivers. We're gonna call them East Asian quivers. Right. So first we have it's an L-shaped wood frame on quiver. That would be that one. And then we have just a simple wood wedge. So by wood wedge, I mean piece of wood. In this case, it's just a spruce. We work on it and we cover it. So it looks quite fancy, but it's basically just a spruce. L-shape wood frame is a bit more complicated. So we have two pieces of wood and they're joined with a V-joint. This one is not proudest one, but that's what we have, and it's only show and tell. So for the wood frames, for the wood wedge, we basically cut single piece of leather and then we dye it or stain it. We stitch outside edges, and then it's a very simple type of quiver. We fold it on half and then we nail wood wedge on the bottom. It's very simple and fairly easy for anyone to make. Once you nail it on the sides, you're gonna add your felt insert, and that will do just nicely. And with a bunch of nails and different fittings, you're gonna end up with a quiver such as this one. And of course, for those who don't know, 3-point suspension, and I covered it on another video, so you can watch those videos as well. Here would be mostly 5 bats. I didn't have bats, so I just made it without it. Decoration, you can research that on your own. So here we are. We have some historical quivers. This one is from Imperial Guard. This one is from private collection, backside of it. This one I don't know. And this one is in Anthropological Museum, Missouri. And this one is from Palace Museum. It's one of the Emperor's quivers. This one is one of my favorite quivers. It belonged to one of the emperors. I forget which one, and I do apologize. But I do love the look and the feel of it. Imperial Guard quivers of the second generation were quite interesting because they were oversimplified, and according to Peter Decker, they were like a downfall of the empire that showed on quivers. Yet for me, they're beautiful quivers and I really do like them, and of course I had to make one. And of course there's this one. This one is highly likely Chinese made quiver, but made for Mongolian auxiliary market. There's a beautiful bow case and a quiver in museum in Ulaanbaatar, if I'm correct. Yet they never replied to my emails, and I don't have any information on it further than what I just said. Before I start talking about the L-shaped wood frame on the quivers, I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that I'm working on Ming Dynasty projects. Not one, but quite a few. One is belt, another one is tammering, quiver, and pouch or tamarind case, or you can put the money into it or what have you. You can't put the cell phone, it's too small. So we're gonna take the Patreon project about that, and we'll try to collect the money to get the belt at least ready. And I'm gonna further my research on the quiver and everything else. So please consider supporting me on Patreon. I'm not doing this by myself. There's a bunch of us. So please help us out. Join into Patreon. One-time donation or monthly. It's really up to you. Patrons do have 33% discount on all of my products. So think it through. Right, so if you look really carefully into this picture, you can really see dovetail joints. And I talked to Peter Decker about it, and he went and checked the quivers, and there is dovetail joints. It is, for most cases, I believe all of them, covered with cloth or leather, perhaps silk and what have you. But they're always covered and they're always there. Most popular of these quivers would be Imperial Guard. That would be first pattern to my knowledge of Imperial Guard quivers. They would be having old identical equipment and or semi-identical, and they would use different colors for different occasions. This one in particular is not from the guards, or if it is from one of the officers or higher ranking people in whatever he was doing there. Could be scribe for what we know. Black quivers would be used, I believe so, when escorting emperor outside of the palace. Red one would be, I believe so, for wearing inside of the walls of Forbidden City. And of course, that wouldn't be only quivers with the L-shape wood frame. There are quite a few. So not all of them, of course, are Imperial Guard quivers. They're random people using random quivers, but that's basically that style. So structure of L-shaped quivers is fairly simple. We're gonna go for the most simple one. And sadly, I don't have pre-cut leather. Actually, I do, but I didn't know where I put it, so it's as good as not having it. So there's my template and one pre-cut piece of leather. So we're gonna basically sandwich wood wedge within two pieces, and I can actually use a couple of clips just so it looks like I'm really trying here. So, oopsies. Yeah, we need to try to do something faster, but it doesn't matter, it's just show and tell. So, here we go. So, wedge will just pop in, and here's your structure of the quiver. Nothing too fancy. And once you insert felt into it, here I'm using here I'm using just a felt, no pine needles. Usually pine needles would go in there and it would look, that's how they did it. Pine needles, they don't decompose that easily. So that would be basic structure of it. Of course, you can add front pockets like on Imperial ones, cross straps. They're quite popular. But the interesting thing about those cross straps and the front pockets, on Imperial quivers, they were never used. There's no wear and tear on it. So so much about that. And while making quiver, you see this one is I covered it with the leather. It's for different projects. So you're gonna start working with one that is roughly finished. You're gonna leave it longer because you never know how well you're gonna cut the leather and if you're gonna screw up anything. And screw ups do happen even to best of us. Ain't no shame in that. So once I hold it properly, let's say I'm happy with this part, I'm gonna grab another clamp and we're gonna pretend I'm happy with this side, and then I'm gonna mark my outline. So that will do for that part. So I hope you can see. Let's try with the light. I don't know if it's too bright or what's going on. So you can see the line. It's right here. So you can make it rounder like I did it, or you can do the straight lines. It's up to you. This part, you're gonna smooth it out just before before assembly. And to cut the quiver, you can use power tools or you can use simple saw. I prefer saw because it's much more obvious if you make a mistake and you can avoid it. With the power tools, once you cut it, you're done. So I would avoid that. So basically, dovetail joint and the wood pin. And this is my screw up. So don't do that. So that would be basic structure of these types of quivers. There's also a U-shaped one that would have another piece of wood. So it would be something like this. But that's for another story. We'll work on that one. Thank you for watching it for this long. Either you're awfully bored or really interested, or I don't know what else. But thank you for your interest. Thank you for supporting the channel. Think about the Patreon thing. Think about the Ming project. And we're going to do a bunch of videos on that. In meantime, stay strong, shoot straight.